put a little oil in the pan, and I got it sauteing here. So I got it on high heat and just let that just cook. Now this is going to be a really nice economical meal. If you can get your hands on some chicken thighs, this is a really good dish to do with thighs. Okay, now this part of the chicken, because I'm making this video for my girls, so you see this part of the thigh. This is the leg and this is the thigh. This part of the thigh, you can keep on there, but if you keep it on there, you need to wash it and rinse it out. I cut it off, and I'm just going to show you how I do it. I just cut that part off. I washed this chicken off, and I cut it, and I just separated the legs and thighs, and I cut this little piece off of each one of them. Just like that. And just throw it out. Okay, the onions and green peppers are sauteing really good. And a lot of the juices out of them. I want to cook them down into most of the juices out of them. So they're really good. They probably need a couple more minutes. Altogether, they need about 10 minutes. I got oil on. Getting hot. Okay, you can use the seasoning of your choice. Just make sure you have a little seasoning salt. But if you want to add anything extra, this is what you definitely have to have, seasoning salt. So I got a tablespoon of this. This is steak seasoning. A lot of times I use steak seasoning for other things too. Tablespoon of the seasoning salt, about a teaspoon of the garlic salt, and a teaspoon of the Creole. And I get it all mixed up in this bowl here. And I'm gonna mix it into the chicken. And like I said, you can use seasoning of your choice, just as long as it's seasoned. You can even just use salt and pepper. That's good too. But I prefer you use just a little seasoning salt for your chicken. So now your chicken is seasoned good. Make sure you get the seasoning all over. And then we're gonna just fry this chicken. Put flour on it and fry it. You're gonna fry it, but you're not gonna fry it till it's done. You're gonna just fry it until it's almost done. You're not gonna let it sit in the grease until it's all the way done. Okay, you need a can of tomato sauce. And some diced tomatoes. So I'm putting tomato sauce in with the onions and green peppers. And I'm going to put the diced tomatoes in. And just give it a little stir. Now I'm getting ready to turn it back on a medium heat. And that's the base. You gotta put some chicken broth in it, and we're gonna put this fried chicken inside. Get a little brown. It doesn't have to be fried all the way. You're just frying it. Get a nice little crisp on it, yeah. Get a nice crisp on it. This is pretty much how I like it. What you can do, have another plate and just take the chicken out and put it on another plate. But since I got the stew ready, I'm just going to put the chicken right inside the stew. Kind of drain it off a little and put it right inside. Now this chicken is not all the way done. It's got a nice crisp on it. Now I'm gonna put chicken broth inside of it. And I'm going to let this simmer, and it needs about an hour, maybe even an hour and a half. This is just water. And what I'm going to do, just to make sure I got it nice and flavorful, I'm gonna add a couple of chicken bouillon cubes. If you have chicken broth, you're fine. But if you do have extra, if you want to be a little extra, you can add a couple of bouillon cubes. I do add a little hot sauce to it, and it just to give it a little kick. And you can add any brand of hot sauce, and that's if you like a little kick to it. But this is your stew, and you just let that simmer, and you can put a top on it and just let it simmer. You can also put this, once you get it to this stage, you can put this in a slow cooker. You can put it in a slow cooker and let it slow cook if you wanted to too. So that's how you get it to that stage, and then by the time it gets done, it'll be thickened up a little. Okay, now I'm going to show you all how to make the African pita bread. You know, the one we call the Stephen bread. Okay, because Stephen showed me how to make this bread. That's one of our African friends. And he showed me how to make this bread years ago. And you all call it Stephen bread. Now, I put 2 cups of flour in here, because I never really measured this, but I kind of measured it for the sake of you all. And I put a little salt, maybe a half a teaspoon of salt or so. So I chop up onions, and I'm gonna add this to the flour. Now, I'm gonna add water. This is just plain water. And this is like a half a cup. So that's a half a cup of water. I may need more. Like I said, I don't normally measure this. I just go by feeling. And then I just keep smushing it around until it get to where I can start kneading it. Okay, now I think I need a little more water. So when you make it, you put it a dough. So it's just flour, salt, and onions and water. That's all it is. And you're gonna make a dough. And make it like a pita bread with this. And so now what I'm gonna do is it's starting to get doughy. I'm gonna put flour down here. Spread it out. And you see how it's, and you gotta go by the feel. So far I've put almost a cup of water in here to the 2 cups. And then once I get it kind of doughed up, I'm gonna take these gloves off. I just don't want it while it's real sticky to get all in my hand. Okay. take a little section of ball here, knead it, and this is how you make these patties. And what I do is I just go around, smash them. You can even take this.
Oh, that's nice.
If you have a rolling pin, you can use a rolling pin. However you want to do it. It's just, you just make them like little, and they're not supposed to be perfect. They're just supposed to be little. You guys know how they're supposed to look. Like that. So you just, and here you do another one. And you know we need a lot of these because you like these. The gravy from the stew, you dip this in it and it's so good. So good.
It's really nice.
It's really nice. And then this is the second half. And then what I do is hot grease here, just a little.
That's nice.
And you put it in the grease. When it's just getting hot.
That's nice. What's there?
And you just let that cook for a little while. And then you turn it over. Make sure you have something to, when you put it in a pan or something, make sure you have, I usually use a cloth, but you need like a cloth or something to cover it. Because when you cover it, that steam get in there and it makes it really nice and tender. So it's something about covering it up. After you do it, just cover it up. And then they become really nice and tender. But when you first take them out, they're a little hard like this. This one is hard. But by the time you put it over there and let it sit under the towel, it'll get nice and tender. Okay, I just want to bring you back to the stew. The stew was simmering really nice. It's all done. I put a little rice in there. Put the stew. Here's the bread. And the chicken is nice and tender. It's good. It's really good. You make a nice ball like Granny doing.
Do it exactly like how she's doing it. Nice and flat like a pancake.
Get it nice and flat.
Give me a cup.
You need the cup. Okay. Okay. I see you.
It's cookies.
See you. Cooking with Granny.